Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk to somebody who is a spiritual, intuitive life coach, but something very different about that. And there are some great people out there that do that category of helping people, but she specifically helps people with synesthesia. And we're going to dig into that in just a second. Her name is Saber, and she joins us again. Hi, Saber. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I like being here.
Yeah, love having you on. I've learned in the last couple of episodes so much about synesthesia and how it affects people and how people may have it and not realize that they have this. And we're going to call it a gift, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's a gift. It really is. And a lot of people are afraid of themselves more so than being able to utilize their gift as they have it.
Yeah, and I learned from you, and we'll explain synesthesia in a second. But people say they're an empath, and I never knew exactly what an empath was. I thought it was people that felt that they were a little more empathetic toward others, but it goes way deeper than that. So synesthesia, tell everybody what that is.
Synesthesia, basically, like I said, everybody looks for a form of evidence, and they'll either go by sight, smell, taste, sound to prove that they have some form of tangible evidence. A synesthetic is internal. They can feel what other people feel. They can taste colors. They can combine two different abilities and utilize them as one. So that's pretty much the difference.
Interesting. So when we mention the word empath, those are people that feel what somebody else feels, but to a very major degree.
Yes. Yeah. They can sit next to somebody or be in the same room and everybody's having a party, and they'll just all of a sudden get this feeling of sadness, and they'll turn and they'll look and they'll see somebody kind of lost in their own thoughts. And they'll go over and go, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, I'm fine. At a party. Why? Why do you ask?" Because I was just wondering, you just had this strange look and you were really deep in thought, and I was just wondering if you're all right. And then they go, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it here." So they were going through something. That person did feel that. It's just that in the midst of everything, they're not going to, just say, "Oh, I'm going to release this. And oh, by the way," and it can be to a point where it's crippling. I had a client who couldn't even go to the store. She'd go out and instantly get bombarded with all these different emotions, and she couldn't control it. And she was just feeling this person, feeling that this person, left the coffee pot on it, feeling that this person was, going through emotional distress. And, even though they're just picking up peanut butter, and they can feel this. And she just said, "No more. I'm not doing this anymore." And she just would go home and just stay there. She'd have people that she would pay to go get her groceries for her, write them out a list and give them the money. And let me know when you get back. People that she can trust with that emotion. So worked with her, and she went to the store and she went and bought plants, and she was like, "I'm an earth person. I'm going to do this." And then I asked her if she named them, and she was like, "Yeah." So really good friend now.
Yeah. Life-changing for a lot of people. And that example that you gave, Saber, of the party, I think happens so much. Like somebody says something to somebody else, like, "I think you're going through something." How would they even know unless they had some type of ability to pick up on that other person's energy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then there's people that need energy, and they'll go, what's a perfect example? They'll go, "Oh, look at what I did. I did this. Isn't this cool? And it's great. And this is wonderful." And I've even had those same people go, "Look at me. I'm crying." I'm like, "Yeah, I can see you. I know you're crying. Let's bring it back a little bit." Those kind of people, they withdraw energy from a person. And when you're an empath, you get that empath, and you get the one that draws energy, and they can drain an empath like within an hour and then go off to the next one. And I call those emotional vampires because they're absorbing that energy, and they don't realize they're doing it. They're just looking for the attention. And in doing that, they do it so much that they're actually pulling the energy out of
Let me make sure I have that right.
people.
So you have one person here who's an empath, and you have somebody over here that might not even know when they connect with the empath, they're pulling that person's energy away from them.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And even the empath will go, I gotta let you go. And they'll just, man, just talking to this person just drains me so much. And it's just because they're not realizing that they can stop that. They can put that, it's called an enmity. That is the term for it. An enmity means to put up a block, so that way they can push that emotion away and still be able to deal nicely with the person
So
without frustrating them and making them continuous. So
the reason I'm bringing this up is I've seen this happen and didn't know it was actually happening. So the person that was the vampire, so to speak,
right.
they weren't intentionally doing it. They just were just being themselves. Were they trying to
Mhm.
get attention from the empath? Did they need, validation and things like that? Or they were just there and they were just sucking the energy away from the empath?
They were just there. They don't realize they're sucking the energy out of the empath. They
Mm.
just they're Gary Chapman said, he was right on the right track when he did the 5 love languages. And a person like that is a words of affirmation type of person. Look at me, I did this, this is cool, this is nice, this is, this is me. And all they want is, yeah, you did a good job. I mean, we all like that, but not all of us, you know, after a while, so, yeah, you did a good job. That was really great. I love how you did that. That was wonderful. Will you stop? I got it.
Ah,
I am not a words of affirmation kind of person. Can I give it? Yes. But I also know when to shut it down. I can take that emotion and shut it down and say, look, I understand how you're feeling. I think you're a wonderful person. I think you've got this great. I love what you did, and I love the way you tweaked it and made it your own, and that's wonderful. But there's also other stuff I have to do too. And I just want you to take into consideration what I need to do.
yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And then they'll go off, look what I did. Look what I did. And I'm just like, ooh, calm down, bring it back.
Yeah.
And then I have to re-energize myself, and I have to get it within and internalize, and I flip it so that when I come up to the next person, I'm not taking their energy, but I'm actually giving positive energy, you know, and
Mm.
just loving the other person the way they need to be loved in their manner. So
If that empath has other challenges, and I believe I know somebody who you're nailing here with the description, has described somebody sucking the energy out of them. Um, Even more challenging if the empath has other challenges. Like I believe this
right.
person also is bipolar and has other things
Mhm.
going on. So when you multiply all those things, now you've got you got somebody needs.
You got it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You got somebody who needs you.
Absolutely.
Is what you got.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Got somebody that needs me because they don't know that their energy is being taken, and they're still trying to function forward, and they're still trying to do their job. And they still have another person or two or three that are just like, I need your attention. I need your attention. I need your attention. And they're like, okay, hold on. I can't even pay attention to myself.
Right. Right.
You know, one of the things that I learned to say through experience is, hold on a second, time out. Please do not have expectations of me, because I can barely handle the expectations of myself, because I have my own expectations.
Hmm.
So please don't expect of me, because I'm going to tell you, I bleed red just like everybody else. And I get angry too. It's just, I'm not, um, I'm not aggressive with my anger. I can actually say, this is really upsetting me. I don't want to get mad at you. I don't want to tell you, stuff to purposely hurt you because it's running through my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk away. I'm going to breathe. Please don't follow me,
Yep. Yep.
and just leave it at that.
Isn't that just healthy boundaries that you just put up?
It is. It is. It's healthy
I
boundaries.
make it sound easy. It's not.
Yeah, because it takes practice. It
Yeah.
really takes practice, especially for somebody who is that can see auras. If one aura is really, really bright and they see that emotion really intense, I tell them, put on a pair of sunglasses first before you say anything.
Yeah.
put on a pair of sunglasses, and it softens that light of that person. And then you can say, look, your emotion is like really intense, and it's more intense than I can handle right now. So can we take a break? I'm gonna go, go get a glass of water or something.
Mhm.
And then we can continue. And then when they come back, usually that aura is calmed down. And when that aura is calmed down, they can, take it off and then look at the person and actually be able to communicate.
We are talking with Saber, and she's with Evolution Blessed. Interesting topic, synesthesia. And Becky is in Searsport, Maine. She says, I think I may have synesthesia. I feel like I can sense others' energy. How can I tell for sure if it's synesthesia?
Well, first of all, Becky, if you can feel other people's energy, that's part of being a synesthetic. We are all connected in certain ways. And your example of synesthesia is you can be around somebody and all of a sudden their emotion changes, even though their face doesn't change or their expression doesn't change. And you'll turn around and go, did I do something wrong?
Hmm.
That's a form of synesthesia. And practicing it, you'll be able to expand. And what that is like, it's like your spirit touching another spirit. And when that emotion changes, you can actually pick up on that. And it's real popular, like if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with someone and they just come in from going to the store and they're laughing with one of their friends or something, and you turn around and you just look at them, but something else is going on. And that's a form of synesthesia. So yes, absolutely, the energy changes internal from external. And how you can check that is through a training that I do called micro expressions. I teach you how to look for micro expressions, especially eye dilations, the squints, breathing, how they breathe. Their breathing will change. And you can actually get into rapport with that breathing and actually change that emotion. So that way it calms them down without them even focusing on they're starting to panic.
Wow. This is like super cool.
It is. And
Hmm.
one time when I was practicing, I was about, oh gosh, I was younger. We're talking like 17, 18. And I went over to a restaurant and I, was sitting there, I was talking to the waitress, and all of a sudden I could feel this person. And I turned and I looked, and there's this guy sitting like this. He's got his hand on his chin. He's staring at me. So I was being ornery. So I connected, got into rapport. And as I got in rapport, put my hand like this on my face, and I slowly slid it off the edge of the table. And out of reaction, he just went, oh, and I was like, can I help you?
So
Now that I have your attention.
So he mimicked what you were doing subconsciously?
Yes.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah. And I was able to take that focus that he had and flip it and make it mine. So I was able to slide my elbow off the table, which out of reaction, he did the same thing, but he kind of like jerked down and I didn't. And I just looked and I said, can I help you?
How do you know, Saber, when it's somebody, let's say you think like in Becky's case, you think you might be synesthetic. How do you know it's not intuition or a gut feeling?
Okay. Intuition comes from experience and past related memories of things that have happened prior. Intuition is, I've done this before, it's happening again. So I know what an outcome might be because of what the outcome was then. So it all comes from past experience. Being a synesthetic is in the moment. It's not deja vu. It's not something that you've experienced before. It's something that you can feel is going to happen, see that can happen, can smell is going to happen, or can taste in the air. A lot of people that walk around with their mouth slightly open like this, they're they're tasting the air. They're tasting emotions in the air. And when they find something that tastes strange, they'll turn and look. And it's just automatic. It's in that moment.
Wow. See, I'm kind of shocked here because I thought intuition, I'm gonna try and, verbalize this, but I thought it was just you're in tune with other people and you pick up on certain things and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
intuitive. So you're
Right.
saying,
And that intuitiveness, for example, good example, there was a magician and he explained the ability of connectivity between two people. And he'd have them sit, one person sit on one side, one person sit on another, just across from each other. And he had them both close their eyes and he'll touch one person. And he says, if the other person can feel connectivity, raise your hand. So because who are those guys? Off of
two guys, like, are they,
yeah,
not
they're
Penn and Teller?
yeah, Penn and Teller is a good one too. But yeah, because they've worked together for so long, they pick up each other's attributes.
Okay.
So when you husband and wife that have been married 5 years will have a connectivity. So if I touch a husband's hand, the wife will raise her hand. Or if I go over to the wife and touch her shoulder, the husband will raise his hand because there's that connectivity. That's intuition. A synesthetic connects instantly with different people on the spot in that moment. So, and that's the difference. A wife will say that's been married for 30 years and, oh, don't worry about my husband. He's, he goes out to drink with his buddies right after work and he'll stay there for about 2 weeks, 2 hours, and then he'll be home. So I've got time to make dinner.
So it's almost like, yeah. So, I guess it's the intuition part is more of a in tune.
Intuition
that you're in tune with the other person.
Right.
And you just pick up on, is it really past, could it be a past life thing where you say it's experiences that you've had before with intuition?
It sure can. It sure can. I do believe it in past experiences because I believe God don't let you go until you finish what you need to do. So if that means you got to come back and do it a second time, that's your fault.
Okay.
But just to get it right, because he won't let you go until you get it. So that's what I truly believe.
Tell me about the training classes that you started. We talked a little bit about it
right
minutes ago.
Right.
Some of the
one of the first trainings that I teach people to do is I got to figure out what their actual synesthesia ability is. If it's premonition, I love that one because premonition goes in the training of premonition is pay attention to your surroundings. If you see something offset and it's coming, look for what's coming. Okay. If it's that will eventually through practice turn into, I want this to happen. And then it does. See, everybody is looking for, the law of attraction. You were born with it. And so many people try so hard to get through it. And they need to stop that. They just need to know that they know. Okay. So when you're premonitioning, is knowing is something that's going to happen because it already has. And all of time is all in the same moment. Okay.
So I want to jump right in here. And in my journey, I believe that. I think I'm on your page there where our universe is here and things that we want, we manifest, we try to attract, it's there. It's there. There's
already there.
That special person you want. There's that red sports car you've been thinking about. You saw somebody drive by. It's there. You just have to get to it. How do you get to it? Well, I think positivity and manifestation is one, some of those things. And it's the way you manifest. I wish I had a red sports car. No, I have a red
Right.
scar. It's right there,
Yes.
and it will be
Yes.
coming to me very soon.
I've had it for a while. The leather looks like this. It smells like that.
Yeah,
I know the way it drives, had to do an oil change just the other day.
exactly. Yeah. It's
Yes.
I do it. And I tell others now, when I'm looking for a space in a crowded village or city, town, whatever, I just
Right.
the universe is going to have a space for me. I'm going to make a turn, and it's going to be right over there, and it is. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but
Nope. Nope. If I say, oh, there's my spot, and if that person's not out of there, I'm like, I'm going around the block. It'll be there when I come back.
And it's funny because I pulled into the gym today, and it was very crowded. And as I'm pulling in, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to manifest a spot. And I just start at the last second. I'm like, it's going to be a space right here. I'm pulling in. As I even surprised myself. I'm like, there's a space right there. It's like literally right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was my mom, she was on oxygen and stuff. She passed away in January.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, oh, she keeps saying was a burden. She was a burden. I said, you're not a burden, Mama. It's all right. I says, I'll get another vehicle. I says, and she said, remember my little white van? Yeah, I want to get one just like that. I said, that way we can carry your stuff so you can actually go places. So you don't have to maintain here and feel like you're a burden. Let's go do something. Let's go out to lunch. Let's go do what we used to do. It's okay. And 3 days later, my kids are, Mom, we got a surprise for you. Because I have 5 children. And I said, well, what's the surprise? And they brought me a little white van. Didn't have to pay for it. Showed up 3 days later, packed it up and took my mama. We went out to lunch.
Wow. And
yes,
they didn't know that you had that conversation either.
Nope, it was just me and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They did not know we had that conversation.
All I can say,
so yes,
for people listening or watching and thinking, what are those weirdos over there? What are they talking about? Foo-foo stuff. What do you got to lose?
It's not foo-foo. It's not foo-foo. It is real. And it happens every day, all the time, everywhere.
Yep.
Just being able to control it, focus it, and allow it to come to you what you want, how you want it, in the manner you choose. Because I've had people go, okay, well, I'm just going to pray and ask God to change my life. Stop! No, don't do that. Calm down, because you better be specific. And he was like, no, I want it all changed. Well, his wife left him, took the kids, lost his house, took the car. And he came to me, goes, why is God doing this? I said, God didn't do it to you. Don't even go there. I said, you did it to yourself. Remember when I told you, don't say that, because your whole being will change.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you got.
What you manifest will be it.
Yep. Don't blame that on God. Don't blame that on God.
No.
Right.
I trust me, I got it. I used to say things, and they became.
What are you going to do now? What do you want to do?
Yep.
What do you want to do? Because now you got a clean slate. What do you want to do? I don't know. I'm going to go to work. Well, think about it, and then we'll work on that.
Yep. Good stuff. Interesting. We're on the same page there, because sometimes people look at that and something like, oh yeah, the universe. Oh, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, there is. I can speak from seeing the evidence. That's it, and others telling me.
That's right.
Say the same thing.
Right. Everybody's looking for, give me the money and then I'll be happy. Nah, don't be dumb. Get happy first. The money will come. See, everybody wants the money, and they're not focused on the end result.
Yep.
They would focus on the end result. The money comes to fulfill that end result.
Yep.
It's just a tool.
It's not the end all.
Not the end all.
Mm-hmm.
It's only that, well, if I had this much, what do you want? I want a new car. Well, what does it look like? How does it smell? How does it feel? How does it feel to you? I said I didn't want my own home until I had a husband, because I was divorced. I said, and when I have the husband that is necessary, then I will have the house. And sure enough, when I allowed myself to have, because I got 5 marriage proposals in a week. And I was like, no, that's not, let me get more specific. So when I got more specific of what I wanted, I have my honey. It's been almost 10 years now.
Oh, good for you.
And he bought me my own home. So yes,
Wow.
it does. And it happened within a 3-year time frame that, okay, now I can have my house. Then I allowed myself to release that. I could have done it before. At any moment point, I know I can. I don't have any doubt in my mind. So I wanted to make sure that I was secure before I went ahead and released.
Yep. Yep.
And that's
You're
the
right.
training. It's being able to have deferred reward, manifest, and then release.
Okay, we're almost out of time. I could go on forever here, but so with the release,
Okay.
so I've heard that you shouldn't keep, I don't want to say asking, but shouldn't keep manifesting it. Put it out there, let it
Why not?
let it marinate. That's what I heard. I don't know. Instead of keep saying, that sports card's coming, that sports, put it out there and don't.
No, you're saying that's coming,
It's here.
meaning that you still don't have.
Mm,
Okay, don't do that. Wait till you see my sports car.
got it.
Change the wording, change it, and that's in my training of event, thought, and reaction. Can you change the event? No. Can you change the thought? Yes, because it's your thought. Can you change the reaction? Yes. You can change the outcome because the thought is the action from the thought. It is a reaction. Make sense?
Very clearly. And you know what's funny? I didn't know your training classes. I thought they were all just about synesthesia, but no, we're going in totally different areas here in terms of what you offer.
There are a lot, because being a synesthetic, if you don't learn these basics of what you are, who you are, or why you are, there's no point in moving forward. None. You have to learn these things. And once you get these, utilizing that ability just makes it stronger, more accurate, and it makes you efficient in who you are. Just like a muscle, you train it. You can't just go over and pick up 10,000 pounds and say, look at me, I'm Superman. If you don't train the fact that you have strength, you ain't gonna lift nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't train the fact you can, okay, I can feel what other people are feeling, this is creeping me out. But if you practice it and do it on purpose, so that way it does manifest into something. So when somebody comes into your office crazy, like, you just get in rapport with them, calm them down through you, and you can have a decent conversation.
Yeah. Even with the lifting of the weights, it starts here. Even if you have these huge muscles, if you're not doing it here, these muscles aren't going to do it. Or you could be like me, no muscles, but you could.
Me either.
You could think it though, and you could probably do it if you manifest it properly.
Right. And it's all about training.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about training the basics of who you are, why you are.
And what you really want.
And then taking that forward.
Yeah. Interesting. This is what I'm learning. Fantastic. Evolution Blessed. Somebody wants to find you. They want some advice on dealing with synesthesia or even manifestation. How do they reach out to you?
evolutionblessed9@gmail.com.
Why the number 9?
If you want, because 9 is the number of completion. We talked about all numbers having a reason. Evolution Blessed is based on being the evolved inner person and allowing that evolution to be blessed, to be a blessing to others. The number 9, because it is the number of completion. You did it.
Love it.
So evolutionblessed9@gmail.com, and leave a message, 719-890-4372. Again, 719-890-4372. And don't worry if you feel you have some form of disability that you can't do it. I'm fluent in sign language. I will text and we can do a Zoom call. And I'm fluent in sign language, so we can talk about that.
It was great talking with you, and it always is. But this is the first time we did a video, and it levels better.
It does, because I actually get to meet you.
Yeah, but you know what? Through the phone, I got it, but now I feel your energy even more, and now I get better understanding about what you do and how you help people. Saber, thank you so much for being with us today, and looking forward to learning some more sometime soon.
That'll be wonderful.
Yep.
That'll be wonderful.
All
right. We'll see you.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good day.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.